Welcome to the Swallow Whistle Show. I'm here with my boy Daniel. My name is Nick. How are you doing, Daniel?
I'm doing good. Actually remembered to not mute myself this time.
We're already off to a better
Yeah,
start.
we're
I
already
like
off to a better start than last time.
So it's time we head out west to a little town called Portland, home of the Trailblazers.
Oh baby, first time out west this year. If you don't
First
count
time
the
out
trade
west.
breakdown.
Yeah, that doesn't count. It's just trade. But
Yeah, they're off to an interesting start. I mean, their injury troubles are back.
they can't catch a break with injuries,
No, like it's actually crazy how many injuries they've had this year.
which is a shame because it happened last year and it's happening this year. And last year and this year are probably two of like Dame's prime years, kind of down the drain. We don't know how this year ends, but
hmm
we like it sucks that this is Dame's. Did I say Paul George?
No, you said Dame.
Okay, good. I don't know why I said okay.
Because
Yeah, no.
I said he was overrated last year. No, it's weird because like CJ took a big step this year
Yeah,
so far,
yeah.
and now he's hurt. So I don't like how is he gonna be after the injury?
He should be okay. It's
Just
just
a foot
left
injury.
foot
Yeah,
injury.
it's 4 weeks
be
though, and he was on fire. Like it's,
Yeah, I hope he doesn't lose that.
I don't want him to lose that touch. He's been great. He's been fantastic. You know what? I always call him a chucker, but he's been good this year. Even though he is shooting 20 shots a game.
He's shooting on what is it? 47%.
Yeah, it's like
Not bad.
47, 44, and I can't remember what the free throw
Yeah.
percentage is. Crazy. He's actually on fire.
He's okay. He's doing well for sure.
Nah, they're
Um,
definitely. But like, all right, listen to they're five that are injured right now. Collins, Covington, Derek Jones, McCollum, Nurkic. That's like a starting five for half the teams in the
Yeah,
league.
that's
It's actually
pretty
crazy.
great. That's an entire starting five. That's crazy.
It's
Uh,
actually nuts.
and so what's their record? They're 9-8 right now.
Yeah,
Do you
they're
think
sitting
would
in
you
seventh.
say would you say considering their circumstances they're overperforming or underperforming or doing just about as good as you can expect them?
Oh, they're definitely overperforming. It's considering where they were
Yeah.
last year. Like Dame had a great year last year, and they barely squeaked
Yeah.
into the playoffs. They had to play in that play-in to get in.
Mm-hmm.
So I would definitely think they're overperforming. Their schedule gets super tough over the next 10 games. I'm pretty sure. Like they've had a pretty
Mhm.
softish schedule. It hasn't been totally easy, but over the next 10 games it gets super hard. So I'm curious to see how much the record swings over the next 10.
Yeah, I mean, do you think what would you consider a successful season for Portland this year?
Considering the injuries.
Yeah.
Oh, probably up just above 500, squeaking into the playoffs again.
And what about a playoff run? What do you expect to
Oh,
do?
I would want to play them in the playoffs. That's for sure. Like if they were healthy coming into the playoffs, no chance in hell I want to play them. Like if they're the seventh seed and they match up with Denver, I could see them beating Denver.
Mm. Mm.
It's just or like I don't know what the Jazz are by the playoffs. Like if they're still rolling, like I think they match up really well against the Jazz.
Mm. Now, for Portland, do you think that this team, as it is right now, obviously in this tenure, this is like probably like around the peak of what you would call with these group of guys that they have right now, they're with would you say they have championship aspirations? Do they need?
Oh, honestly, I think they're really good. Like if they weren't gutted by injuries this year, I would consider them just below like a chip contender for sure. Like barring what they do at the trade deadline, if they pick up a piece at the trade deadline.
So do they? So that's what I'm asking. Do you think this team has um, a championship in them?
I feel like they're missing something.
Okay.
I don't know what it is, but I definitely think they're missing something. Like their wings actually aren't bad. Like Covington's good. Rodney Hood's been very good for them over the last couple of years. Melo's mellow. He's gonna drop 12 on you. He's gonna produce. Their guards are good. They don't play. I think it's the defense. Like I can't think of a single player on this team that plays defense besides Covington. Derek Jones is okay.
Hmm.
Dame's serviceable. Gary Trent Jr. is actually a really good defender. Hood's been good for them defensively too. It's just weird. Like Nurkic is okay. I don't think of him as a stout defender down low, but he's okay.
Yeah. I mean,
What do you think?
that like their starting five. Like if we're talking about this, like their starting five: CJ, Dame, um, Nurkic. I mean, I guess like I'm just looking at if we're looking at their starting like their best players or their starting five players. I wonder like if that's a strong enough defensive side to set the tone of a game in a playoff series, especially. Um, I just wonder if that's like if that's good enough.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe they need a defensive a solid defensive player, but I don't know.
The numbers across the board defensively are actually pretty good. Like percentage wise and stuff, and rebounding, they're actually really good. They're in the top half. Oh wait, no, I've read this completely wrong.
Oh,
Have I? Yeah, I think so. They're not doing that hot.
okay.
They're in the bottom half of the bottom third of the league in almost every stat. I pump faked myself.
Damn. Hit him with the Dwayne Wade. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like when I just look at for me, when I look at the Trailblazers, it just feels like they're just a good team, and that's it.
Don't they
Like
feel like
I don't.
don't they feel like the Raptors or Washington like 5 years ago? Like this amazing backcourt duo
Hmm.
and serviceable
But
players
even
everywhere else.
better than that, I think. I think even better than that.
John Wall and Bradley Beal is pretty close.
Oh, I was thinking more like better
Yeah,
than the
DeMar
Raptors.
and Kyle. Yeah. They definitely are like top end talents. Definitely better than both those teams. But
Hmm.
like they just remind me so much of them. Like they're just and they have a superstar. That's the crazy thing. Like yeah, everyone always says you need a superstar, but they
Like a
have a
really
superstar.
good
Yeah,
superstar.
like a legitimately he can carry you superstar. It's just I don't know what it is. They're just so bad defensively.
Like, do you think it's because they're in
The West?
in the West, and they like in the past few years, especially the West has just either been the Warriors and now LeBron slash the Clippers. But
If
I,
you think about it though, who do they beat? Like over the last 5 years coming out of the West. I mean out of the East. I don't think they beat Toronto. I don't think they beat Miami last year because they were bad last year. Um, I don't think they beat the Cavs.
hmm
Who else came out of the East? I think that's the only three teams that came out of the East over the last 5 years. Like, you think they get past Boston over the last couple of years? I don't think so.
hmm. I don't know. I don't know. Like
They
Dame.
their issue is like their wings are okay defenders and Dame's okay and CJ's whatever. CJ's not great. They're kind of
Mm,
a turnstile. Like even though they
they're
have
no, they're
solid
holo.
defenders on the wings, they don't have a lockdown guy. Like no one's stopping Kevin
There's a
Durant or
bunch of
LeBron.
holograms.
Yeah,
There's
they're a
a
bunch of
there's a bunch of
holograms.
holograms on that team for sure.
And you can't hide like guys like Melo and McCollum's not bad defensively. McCollum and Dame, they're not stout defenders. It's hard to hide three guys
Yeah.
like those right there when you have those three on the court. It's hard to hide three guys on offense. I mean on defense.
Is Dame good enough? Will Dame ever be good enough on his own, or does he need
Yeah, I think
like an AD? Like I'm talking like an AD or like a because think about it, we're talking like LeBron isn't enough on his
oh
own.
you mean like without another pairing? Yeah, I think that could possibly be it. But CJ's took a big step this year.
Yeah, but CJ, like
Like
as much as I do like CJ, he's not.
yeah,
I
but
don't think he's that good.
what if he extends this play like this? Wouldn't you not like give him that edge? That he's a
We'll see how it goes in the
impending
playoffs. I'm
superstar?
betting
Hmm.
he's 29 years old.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. But I would say I'd make the argument that this is where his peak should be, 28 to
yeah,
32.
yeah. I'm just
So
wondering, like, I think Dame needs a better 1B or someone who is as good as him. I feel like there's that difference. Like, Dame is like sniffing that like upper echelons, but
echelon,
he's like echelon. Sorry,
echelon.
yeah,
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
echelon. and I just don't know if he I don't know, and
Who do you think would be a
it's
good pairing realistically? Like they just had to throw one out.
a guy like Giannis
Yeah, like we're for real. Like someone that just could drive.
because I don't think Giannis is necessarily good enough on his own either. I think I would bet against him.
Yeah, but I feel like Drew Holiday is a better player than CJ. Like pairing wise, I would.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, because Drew can handle like Drew can like he's a playmaker as well. He's a
yeah,
good
and he's
defender.
an amazing defender.
Yeah, so I'm just saying like if we just got like I think as someone like Dame needs a guy like another guy like Giannis, and I think Giannis needs a guy like Dame. Well, but then I think Drew, like you said, Drew is
Drew's really good. I don't. I
Drew
think.
works there
Yeah,
too.
I agree with you. I think they need a wing. Like they need a really good wing, and I don't think they'll find that this year.
Like a Tatum.
Yeah, but like they're never gonna
I know.
find that though. You know
No,
what I
no,
mean?
no.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
I
like
know, I
I'm
know.
just trying to think realistically for a second. Like who would they realistically be able to grab? Like, are they too small if they grab a DeRozan at the trade deadline, and they run DeRozan, CJ, and Dame?
See, my problem with DeRozan, I'm not seeing enough defense. And DeRozan,
Yeah,
like what
that's true.
his strengths right now, what he's really improved on this year, sort of his three. It's better, but not like marginally better. But one thing I'm really seeing is like his ability to play make. He's the primary playmaker on that team, and
Hmm.
like he's gotten so much better at it. But I feel
Yeah, you're
like
taking the
the
ball away
Blazers
from
are,
Dame.
yeah, like why do you need like
See, that's the
another
thing though.
playmaker?
Like if you're taking the ball out of Dame's hands, it's hurting your team. Even CJ is taking the ball out of any of those two hands, you're hurting the team, and you can't add another piece and not have those guys
Mhm.
not have the ball in their hands, right? So it's hard to say. They literally need a 3 and D guy, an elite 3 and D guy, but there's not many elite 3 and D players in the league.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know, man. I and the thing is, like, do you think Dame leaves
Nah,
Portland?
I think he stays unless they want to trade him, like he's on the bitter end of his career, or like he's like let's say 5 years from now he's 35, and they're just missing the playoffs. I could see them
Yeah.
moving him. It's
Do
kind of
you
reminds
think?
me of Westbrook. Like Westbrook
Yeah.
didn't want to leave, but he really didn't have a choice at the time.
Do you think Dame is overrated, underrated, or rated fairly?
I think in years past he was underrated, and then actually
Yeah.
last year in the bubble, like when people were watching him just go off on teams
Mhm.
and getting in the arguments with Patrick Beverly, he was properly rated finally.
Mm.
But it's hard to say. He's been an all star like almost every year of his career.
Yeah. I guess it depends on who you're asking.
Like the
Uh.
last 3 years, he's been an all star. He's been an
Mhm.
all star 5 out of 8 years. So it's hard to say. Like it's not like he's like Mike Conley or Drew Holiday, where people, if you like normal people, won't know who he is.
Mhm. Are you are you gonna be thinking? Are you thinking Dame is an All Star this year in the West?
Yeah, I think him and CJ should make it for sure.
Like starters?
No, no, bench. Dame, you can make an argument to start. But
Yeah.
there's a
I
lot of
can make
point
an
guards.
argument.
There's a lot of guards that you could probably make that argument for out of the West. But CJ for sure
Yeah.
off the bench. If they're a playoff team, they deserve two guys considering what they had this year.
Mhm. Uh.
What do you think? What do you think when you see this team? Like would you think they're gonna make a push for a chip this year, or they're just
No.
first round exit, second round exit?
Like their first or second round. They don't have the juice. I don't know how to describe. They don't have the sauce. They don't have like Dame literally would have to average 40
Like
for the
okay,
entire playoff.
I'm pretty sure we put them in A tier in our tier list,
Yeah.
which I'll pop up in the video somewhere. But do you think that's a proper rating when you think about it? Like, shouldn't really they be in a B tier team if they're a first round exit?
I can't put them there though because they have the talent.
I
They have a
know,
guy
but
like Dame.
then why do we think they're a first round exit team then?
Not first round.
You,
I wouldn't say, I
okay,
wouldn't
but
think they're
if they're a
first round.
7 seed or 8 seed going into the playoffs, they're playing the Lakers, Clippers, or Jazz. I can see that world where they beat the Jazz. I don't think they beat the Clippers or maybe they could beat the Clippers.
They
The
in the
wings,
playoffs they could.
the
It's not
wings.
like
It's
it's
the wings though. Like who they can't match up against any of those teams. The Jazz, yeah, the Jazz have no wings. It's just Ingles. And
um yeah, no, because I can't put them B.
I
I
agree
can't.
with you. It's just like
It's weird.
they're like on the lowest end possible of A. Like they're barely A. Like if you think about it,
Yeah,
if they're a first
yeah.
round exit team, they do not deserve to be A.
Hmm.
Well,
Uh,
it's
yeah, I
tough.
don't know. The the Blazers are such a. I think they're just right now. They're living this age right now. They're living the Dame era out, and then that's it. And then they go on a rebuild. Because I don't see how they win a championship unless they trade CJ for like an up and
I don't think
coming.
you'll never get the value out of CJ in a trade.
Sorry.
I don't think you'll ever get value out of moving CJ for like a wing
Hmm.
or a younger player. Like you'll never reach that value again. Probably.
It kind of makes me feel like guys who are like just serious scorers. I don't feel like they're as like they're not. I feel like they're not regarded as like solid like really just like really good players anymore. Like you need more to your game. Like you can't just be like a really good scorer. Like I don't care how good you are at scoring. It's like you need to have more to your game. And then anytime you try to trade them, it's always like and anytime they try to do something really significant like in the playoffs, it's always like it's really hard to sell that to me
Mm-hmm.
as just being an offensive talent. Like there needs to be more to your game.
Yeah, no. There, you definitely have to be able to play some defense in this day and age. Like you can't just
Yeah.
rely on no, like skipping out on that.
Yeah, no, seriously.
All right,
Uh,
hold on. We've gone through this team. We have not talked about Yusuf Nurkic at all. I know you do not like Nurkic. You're not a big fan of Yusuf Nurkic. He took a massive step back. Like it's only been 8 games to be fair, or no, 12 games.
man,
It's 12 games. He's averaging 9.8 points a game. He's down across the board in almost every stat: rebounds,
that
assists.
guy is a purple patch merchant. All right,
He's
that guy's
down in
a purple patch merchant.
like when you consider his steals in let's go with 2018 because I only played 8 games last year. In 2018, he averaged 16 points a game, 1.5 blocks, 1 steal, 10 rebounds, and 3 assists down across the board every stat. And a pretty considerable amount too. Like if
I
he
think he's replaceable.
you think he's replaceable? I actually really like him as a player, and I think he's perfect for that team if he's playing the way he usually
The
plays.
team needs to change.
I
This team's not
agree.
doing
I
anything.
agree, but I don't think he is something you change though. Like he's
You don't
actually
think?
solid though. Like he doesn't need the ball in his hand. He's
Uh huh.
okay. This is considering this is 2018 Yusuf Nurkic. Doesn't need the ball in his hand on offense. Can solid rebounder. He's actually a really good playmaker, and he plays solid defense. Like I don't know what else you want from that position. And like he doesn't shoot. That's the only thing. Like he can't shoot threes.
Yeah.
It's just I feel like if the issue is the wings, like they never had good wings, and their
Mhm.
wings actually Rodney Hood was really good last year before he got hurt, which is depressing. And he's been okay this year. Like he hasn't been okay this year. I just lied straight to our face. Like he's shooting 32%. It's what happened? Like,
I don't know what this. I don't know what this team. I don't know what the plan for this team is. I think it's just Dame era till we die and then move on. I
like
I I don't know what they do.
Like they need a wing. That's what they need. And honestly, if they got a serviceable isn't enough. If they got a good wing, another good wing, they'd be so good. But I don't see
Jalen
how.
Brown.
No, like if like I don't even know realistically who they'd be able to scoop. Like I'm trying to think right now. Like who would they be able to scoop? Like just take a second and think about it.
Can Zach Levine play wing?
Nah, he's more of a point guard.
Yeah.
Like there's not really like this year's crazy when you
Tobias
think about it.
Harris.
There's yeah, but they need someone to play D. Like I don't. When I
Yeah,
think of defense, when I think of Tobias Harris, I think of another scorer. That's just like a better Melo, basically.
yeah.
When I think of the market, like there's no centers, there's no wings. Point guards is Derrick Rose and Lonzo Ball now supposedly. Like trade market's really bad this year, considering across the board.
Yeah, there's nobody, man. There is nobody. I honestly don't see the answer for this team.
No,
I
no, no, I
don't.
don't. And I think they had a good offseason too. Like bringing in Covington, bringing in Derek Jones Jr., bringing back Cantor, who was really good for him, and he's been pretty good this year so far. Like he's playing better than Nurkic.
Hmm.
Like they had a really solid offseason, bringing these guys in. They got their injured guys back, and it's the same.
You think it's a coach? Been
No,
there for nine
Terry
years.
Stotts is pretty well regarded. Like I just think they're just, and in today's day and age, wings are super important, and they just don't have wings. I would make the
Mm,
argument that wings is almost as important as point guards.
mm.
Like think about the last three teams I want to
No,
check.
yeah, yeah. No, yeah, you're right.
The
You
wings
need,
were Kawhi, LeBron, KD.
yeah, best wings in the world.
Yeah, the three best wings in the world. You're not gonna beat that. And
Mm,
this team does not have that.
no. Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely it's it's funny because they're a really good team, but you could just tell that's just about all they're gonna be. They're not gonna be.
All right,
Do you
but
think
the
they missed
other
their window?
no, I don't think they've ever had a window. Like realistically, they weren't gonna beat the Warriors ever.
But the Warrior didn't they
They
like
went to the conference
they
finals against the Warriors one year and got swept.
yeah, and but what wasn't the Warrior? The Warriors were without KD and
Yeah,
without Clay, weren't they?
yeah, it was the year against the Raptors. That was their
And
year.
they
They would have
still
got slapped by the Raptors, realistically though,
yeah, but like
because who on that team would have stopped Kawhi
yeah, no, they're not.
and
There's
one
no
steady
one.
boy, Freddie.
Yeah, Freddie was an animal that year.
Yeah, steady was after the Sixers series. He was a steady boy for sure. Okay, the other quick before we wrap this up, the other issue I see with this team is they're third in the league in field goal attempts, and they're 26 in percentage.
That's
What's that?
hilarious.
What's that saying to you? They are chuckers. They are chuckers.
They are definitely checkers, yeah.
And same thing with 3-point percentage. It's not as bad. They're third in the they're second in the league in attempts and 10th in percentage. It's definitely better. But field goals attempted, they're third and made they're 17th.
Robert Covington is shooting 27% from three. Derek Jones is shooting 25% from three.
Bro,
My gosh.
look at Covington's field goal percentage overall. It's 30%, and Hood's 32. That's what I'm saying. They have no wings. They have no wings. Covington
Yeah,
could be
they
that
don't.
guy though. He can play defense. He's good, still a good defender. He can't shoot anymore. What happened? What did the Rockets do to him?
We'll have to check up on how they are looking at the end of the season.
Yeah.
Maybe they get better.
It
It is a bit of a
15
rough
games.
season for everybody. With the whole, obviously, with the pandemic going on. So,
Man,
but I don't know.
Covington went from a really good 3-point shooter, like 37%, like he was 39%, 37, 38. Went to the Rockets, 30, 31%.
The Rockets are a jacked franchise.
Because bro made him play center. That was the issue. Now he's broken. Now he's broken.
Now, now he's lost his shooting gloves forever.
I'm pretty much wrapped up on this team. Like
Yeah,
I
that's
think
enough depression.
I think we can just clearly state that they need some wings. Like right now.
They need wings. They
Yeah,
need a
for
future.
sure.
They need everything.
I would say
Yeah, I
I'd
don't
still
know.
make the argument that their window we'll put in brackets is another 5 years still.
I hope so.
Like
Dame's
Dame,
30.
I would say Dame up to 35. He'd probably be pretty good.
Yeah. He hasn't relied too much on his athleticism, so
No, for sure. And McCollum should have 4 or 5 years left in him. Nurkic is young.
hmm
They do have some nice young pieces. Like Nasir Little's decent. Simmons is pretty good. Gary Trent's good. Like we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I'm down to come back at the end of the season and see what happened.
We'll see what they do. We'll see what they do.
All right.
But yeah, I think we're gonna take a look at the Jazz next week.
Yeah. Do you have any closing words on the Blazers?
Good luck, fam. That's all I've got.
just
Good
an
luck.
L.
Just good luck.
Yeah, let's the Jazz are 1-10 in a row. Let's check in. By the
Take a look
time
at
we
the
look
Jazz.
by the time we look at the Jazz, they're gonna be on like a 4-game lose streak probably with us. I would
Yeah,
remind everyone that
seriously.
last year I did pick the Jazz to win. I was a year off. I was a year off from pure dominance. All right, let's wrap this up. All right, you know what to do. Follow us on Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, Podbean, iTunes, Spotify, everything. Swallow your whistle. That's it.
Take it easy, guys.
Peace.